The Summer I Turned Pretty finale. Team Belly wins. By Your Name Entertainment Desk. Amazon Prime Video's smash series The Summer I Turned Pretty completed its third season with a climax that can only be characterized as a full-circle triumph for Isabel "Belly" Conklin, and for viewers who had waited years to see her finally come into her own. The season's last episode, dubbed The Way Back to Summer, featured a mix of sadness, self-realization, and epic romance that left social media buzzing with one conclusion: Team Belly has officially won. A journey 3 summers in the making. Since its premiere in 2022, The Summer I Turned Pretty has been more than just a love triangle between Belly, Conrad Fisher, and Jeremiah Fisher. Adapted from Jenny Han's popular YA novels, the show has always been about growing up and learning to choose yourself before selecting anyone else. Season 3 heightened the emotional stakes. Belly, now older and more grounded, returns to Cousins Beach still stuck between the lingering attraction of Conrad, Christopher Briney, and the steady adoration of Jeremiah, Gavin Casalegno. Yet the climax switched the attention away from which Fisher brother she'd chose, and onto who she'd become after 3 summers of love, tragedy and revelation. Paris. The city of closure and beginning. The last episode carried viewers to Paris, a long-teased destination in Jenny Han's universe that finally came to life on screen. What began as a study abroad vacation swiftly became a symbolic crossroads for Belly. Gone were the soft-lit beach scenes and sun-drenched volleyball courts of Cousins. In their place, Paris offered cobblestone streets, dark cafes, and a quiet maturity that reflected Belly's development. In one of the most talked-about sequences in the episode, Belly stands on a bridge overlooking the Seine, reflecting on her summer's past. "You can't hold on to something that's meant to grow," she says in voiceover, a statement that has already become a TikTok soundbite shared by followers worldwide. It's here where the long-awaited reunion takes place. The scene between Belly and Conrad, modest yet emotionally intense, serves as both closure and rejuvenation. Instead of another impetuous disclosure or tear-filled departure, the two exchange a talk that feels grounded and authentic. Conrad for once listens. Belly for once leads. The heart of the finale. Belly chooses herself. Despite the social media frenzy over which team would win, the finale made one thing clear. Team Belly was never about choosing between 2 lads. It was about Belly choosing herself, her objectives, her pleasure, and her identity outside the Fisher family orbit. Throughout Season 3, we saw Belly entering into new areas: university life, travel, and independence, without losing the kindness that defined her. The Paris finale was a culmination of such growth. Jenny Han, who acted as showrunner and executive producer, told Entertainment Weekly in a post-finale interview, "This was always Belly's story. Fans have been passionately divided between Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah, but what I wanted most was for Belly to conclude the season standing in her own power." Representation and resonance. Another outstanding element of the finale, and the series as a whole, is how it has gently, yet significantly, focused an Asian American lead in a popular love drama. Lola Tung's portrayal of Belly made history for representation, showing an Asian American kid whose tale isn't defined by cultural struggle but by universal themes of adolescence, love, and growing up. Audiences and critics alike have complimented the show's casual yet powerful depiction of diversity. Social media reactions underscored how rare it still is to see an Asian American heroine in a role that allows for gentleness, bewilderment, and delight, especially within a genre dominated by white protagonists. Seeing Belly in Paris, walking through the city, experiencing love and independence, it was the first time I saw someone like me living a full romantic story on screen, remarked one viewer on X, previously Twitter. The soundtrack that defined a generation. Of course, The Summer I Turned Pretty wouldn't be The Summer I Turned Pretty without its trademark soundtrack. A mix of Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, and indie pop nostalgia that scored every emotional beat. The finale was no exception. Taylor Swift's "You Are in Love," Taylor's version, played throughout the concluding montage, echoing Belly's inner serenity and the cyclical nature of summer love. Fans immediately linked the scene to Swift's lyrical themes of maturation and self-recognition, a great match for Belly's arc. What the ending means for the future. Prime Video has previously stated that The Summer I Turned Pretty will return, this time as a feature film that will serve as the series' epilogue. Jenny Han has indicated that the movie may adapt elements of the final book, We'll Always Have Summer, reinvented for a post-college scenario. In a quick teaser published after the finale credits, Belly is shown back at Cousins Beach, looking out at the horizon. The screen fades to black with the line, "Every ending is a beginning in disguise." Fans are already wondering what this implies. Will the film deliver a final romantic resolution? Or will it retain the show's devotion to growth and self-love over fantasy fulfillment? Audience reaction. A cultural moment. Within hours of release, the conclusion became one of Prime Video's most watched episodes of 2025. Hashtags including hashtag Team Belly Wins, hashtag Paris Ending, and hashtag Belly Conrad Reunion trended globally. Critics have complimented the finale's restraint and emotional honesty. Variety termed it a fittingly tender ending that closes one chapter while opening another, while Teen Vogue described it as the rare YA adaptation that matures alongside its audience. On Reddit and TikTok, however, the discussion rages on. Some Team Jeremiah fans believe that the conclusion robbed him of closure, while others praise the way it reframed the plot around Belly's self-actualization rather than romance. Still, the verdict appears obvious. The finale managed to strike a chord across audiences of all ages. For those who grew up with Jenny Han's books, this was a nostalgic send-off. For newer admirers, it was an encouragement to trust that self-discovery may be its own love tale. The final word. The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 finale wasn't simply a win for Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah. It was a win for Team Belly. It honored Jenny Han's original goal while broadening the emotional and visual breadth of the series. Through its dreamlike photography, honest writing, and nuanced performances, especially from Lola Tung and Christopher Briney, the show delivered one of the most memorable young adult finishes of the decade. As the camera lingered on Belly's smile in that last Paris scene, viewers could feel it, the quiet joy of a character who had finally come full circle. Not just the girl who got pretty one summer, but the woman who learnt to appreciate herself in every season after. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe my channel.